Phoenix, Arizona. Police and fire rescue teams respond to a report of a car trapped in a flash flood, but there's no sign of life. And fireman Ron Cummings fears the worst.
We saw that the car was submerged under the water, and we really didn't think we had a rescue. We thought it would just be a body recovery.
Then suddenly, there's movement in the rear window. The driver is still alive. A 34-year-old woman named Young Tran is in the back seat, fighting to stay alive by holding her head above water in a tiny air pocket.
The front seat was pretty much underwater, and then there was a little bit of space, maybe like about a foot right at the back window that was not submerged in water.
Firefighters try to calm the desperate woman, but the water inside the car continues to rise. Young begins to panic.
Driver of the vehicle, if you can hear us, the fire department is here. We'll be with you soon. Be patient, don't panic. Everything is under control.
Ron volunteers to ride shotgun on the skid of a chopper and be airlifted to the stranded vehicle.
Driver of the vehicle, stay in your car. Do not get out until the fire department gets you out.
Veteran pilot Larry Hallis carefully maneuvers the helicopter into position above the churning river.
I was amazed. I had seen flash floods before, but this one was pretty substantial.
He hovers just a few feet above the water as Ron tries to find a spot to jump off. If the chopper gets too close, the rescue effort will end in disaster.
The force of the water is so great on a fixed object in the water that, it could conceivably pull the helicopter into the water.
Ron steps cautiously onto the roof, struggling to keep his balance as pounding waves rock the car. Holding onto the slippery roof, he tries to make contact with Young.
She had rolled the window down a little bit, and I touched her hand, told her not to move, and I would be there in a little bit.
But the frigid water is nearly over her head. With only seconds to spare, Ron smashes the rear window and frees the terrified woman. But they'll have to get off the car quickly. The water is rising and filled with tree trunks and boulders that could sweep them away in an instant. Larry tries to steady the chopper above the car, but he's flying in darkness, fighting wind and rain.
I couldn't see the car, I couldn't see Ron, I couldn't see Mrs. Tran, and I was just praying that I didn't knock him off the car.
Ron reaches for the skid, but now he faces a new challenge.
The helicopter builds up a static charge, so every time you touch it, you got to relieve that static charge.
Ron ignores the painful shock and reaches for the chopper. He nearly loses his grip on Young as he clutches the skid. But somehow, he hangs on. Larry slowly pulls the chopper away and heads for shore. Finally, Young is safely on dry land. Miraculously, she escapes this harrowing ordeal without injury. As daylight breaks, the magnitude of the storm's destructive power is fully realized. Minutes after the rescue, the raging torrent capsized her small car and buried it in the riverbed. Were it not for the heroic efforts of Ron and Larry, Young would have suffered a disastrous fate.